Good morning, students. I hope all of you are well. As you know, the revision week is over. So with the new week, today we are going to begin a new lesson. So the new lesson, like from chapter 12, there were 2 lessons left. So today we will cover feudal power in Japan. And you will find this chapter or this lesson on page 339, that is 339. Okay, so in this lesson, you will learn about the early Japanese and their system of government. And before we start, first few important terms and the name we will see before starting the lesson. So the first term or the name is Shinto. Shinto is basically a name of a religion, and it was considered the Japan's earliest religion, and this religion based on respect for nature and worship of ancestors. Then the next term is here, Sumarya. Sumarya is a term. It is used for the warrior, for Japanese warrior who served a lord, like who served his honor. This term is used for that Japanese warrior. Then we have Bushido here. Bushido. Okay. Bushido. Bushido is a code for a warrior, for a Sumari. Here we said that Sumari was a Japanese warrior. So the code for this warrior, that how he should lead his life, that code is called Bushido, the way of the warrior. Then at the end we have Shogun. Shogun is a title basically, and this title is for the military commander. The highest military commander in feudal Japan will be given the title when you will read this lesson. So highest military commander in feudal Japan, ruling in the name of the emperor, will be given the will be given the title Shogun when you will read the lesson. Okay, so the first topic is the growth of Japanese civilization. So you should know, we will read a little bit about the geography of Japan. You should know a little bit about geography of Japan. So basically Japan benefited from its location. First thing, that Japan was near China, and the Chinese culture influenced Japan. However, there was enough distance between these two countries to make Chinese attacks difficult. Even then, Japan got a few culture and influence from Chinese. Japan is made up of about like 4,000 islands, and they vary in size. Most people live on the 4 largest islands, most people, and the country has many mountains. There is not much food, there is not much good farmland. The islands have few natural resources such as coal and oil. Early Japan was broken up into many small areas. Each was controlled by a clan. Here you listen carefully, because I am going to explain you about the Shinto. As you see, Shinto. So before Shinto we was talking about the geography of Japan. Okay, so now I'm going to speak about the Shinto. Here you see Shinto. Okay, so early Japan was broken up into many small areas, and each was controlled by a clan. Clan was like a old tribes. These clans believe in their own gods. Later, all these beliefs became combined, and they formed Japan's earliest religion called Shinto. So now you understand what is Shinto. Shinto is a religion, and in the beginning, each clan they have their own gods, but later on all these beliefs became combined, and they formed Japan's earliest religion, that was called Shinto. The first thing you should know about the Shinto Shinto was basically based on respect for the forces of nature and on the worship of ancestors. 2 things. Shinto worshippers, they believed in kami. This is I'm explaining it to you. Kami was like divine spirits that dwell in nature. So they believed in kami, and kami was divine spirits. So any unusual or especially beautiful trees, rocks, waterfall or mountain was considered the home of a kami. So they believed that these spirits used to live in beautiful trees or rocks or waterfall. This was their belief. So it was about Shinto religion. Next I'm going to talk about the Yamato emperors. So in the 400s, the Yamato clan became the most powerful clan, and the Yamato claimed that they were related to sun goddess. So they think themselves they are the most leading and powerful clan. Why? The reason that they claim to be descendant from the sun sun goddess. This was the reason that they think that they are most powerful. By the 60s, Yamato leader began to call themselves emperors. So they eventually, because they said they said that they were descended from the sun goddess, so eventually they started calling themselves emperors. So other clans, with passage of time, fought and won power over Japan. So new rulers did not become emperor. So now when other clans they attack on Japan, they did not become the emperor. The emperors were still there. Instead, they controlled the emperor. So the new ruler, they were controlling those emperors. They didn't become emperor. They were controlling those emperors who were before them. Instead, they controlled the emperor, and the emperor remained an important figure in Japan. So the new rulers did not become the emperor, so the emperor remained an important figure in Japan, and this dual structure became an enduring characteristic of Japan's government. Next is about Japan's culture, and you must know, I think, we all know about little bit about Japan cultures, so I don't think it's going to be something new, but even then we are going to read about Japanese culture. So by the 400s, contact between China and Japan grew, and Korean travelers visited Japan. So they introduced Chinese ideas to the Japanese, and Japan became more aware of Chinese ways. So this is how Japan becoming more aware of the Japanese way. Buddhism from China reached Japan, and it became an important religion in Japan. So Buddhism also came from China to Japan. Japan's emperor sent people in China to learn about its culture, and the Japanese adopted the Chinese system of writing. Japanese artists imitated Chinese painting. For a while, Japan even used China's government as a model, and yet Japan still held on to its own traditions. So three important things we have read: the Chinese culture, from Chinese culture that Japan adapted. Three things mean that: writing, art, and government. Next is the life in the Heian period. So first you should know what is Heian period. The year from 794 to 1185 are called the Heian period. So in history, from 794 to 1185, that period was called Heian period. Heian was the new capital of royal court, so it's the name of a capital. Heian is located now present day. Heian located in Kyoto. Kyoto is a city of Japan. So present day, this capital is in Kyoto, and this old capital is in Kyoto. Japanese culture thrived there. So in this capital, Kyoto, actually the Japanese culture flourished and prospered in that city. The gentlemen and the ladies of the court lived in splendor. Art and good manners formed the center of their lives. Strict rules dictated many parts of life. Being polite and proper was expected. The best account of Heian society comes from the writing of a woman of the court. A woman in this period wrote the world's first novel, The Tale of Genji. So a woman, she wrote the world's first novel was from Japan. I just came to know, and that it was about a story of a character, Genji. You must read it now. Try to get its translation in English, The Tale of Genji. Next, we are going to talk about the feudal powers in Japan. This is the last topic for today's lesson, like how did feudalism arise in Japan. Okay, so over the time, the power of Japan's central government decreased, and wealthy landowners they lived away from the capital. This was the tradition, that they used to live away from the capital. They set up their own armies, and these soldiers began to terrorize the farmers. So because they were living away from the city, what they were doing, they were terrifying, they were frightening the poor people. And in exchange for their protection, farmers gave up some of their land to the lords. So because the poor farmers, they want to protect themselves, they don't want to get harmed, so they gave their land to the lords. And this is how the feudal system began in Japan. And it was similar to the feudal system in Europe during the Middle Ages. If you read about the feudal system in Europe in Middle Ages, you will come to know it was just like that. Now I'm going to explain you about few things like Sumari, Bushido and Shogun. You will come to know about these terms in detail. So each lord, like we just read that how they terrorize those poor farmers, that those landlords, the wealthy landlords who lived away from the capital. So each lord used a group of trainer bodyguards, just like we have bodyguards nowadays. These lords, they also use a group of trained bodyguards, and these trained bodyguards were called Sumari. So Sumari were basically the trained bodyguards who used to protect their lord. So they protected their lord from attacks by other lords. Sumari followed a strict code of behavior, and it was called Bushido. Okay, Bushido was a law they follow, the Sumerians who follow, and this word means way of the warrior. Okay, so after a period, next we are going to talk about the title of Shogun. After a period of war in late 1100s, the Minamoto family rose to power. Look. So after like around 1100s, a new family named Minamoto family rose to power, and the leader gave his most powerful lord the title of Shogun. So here you see how the title of Shogun is given. The emperor gave Minamoto leader the title of Shogun, and the title of Shogun means Supreme General of Emperor's Army. This title means Supreme General of Emperor's Army. Okay, the emperor remained in power in name, but the new shogun ran the country. So this pattern continued in Japan from 1192 to 1868. Shoguns made Japan more stable. Now, what they did in their era, what they did in their time, these shoguns, they made up Japan more stable. Number one, they created a system of judges to listen to the problems between farmers and landlords. Number two, they also kept the military strong. Number three, and the shogun stopped invasions by the Mongols. Number four. So here I am giving you 4 points that how shoguns, the military dictators, the generals, how they made the Japan more stronger. Then we are going to talk about a little decline, like shoguns needed money for their wars. They did not have enough money to pay Sumaria, like the poor farmers or the warrior. So the Sumaria became upset, and they fought back very hard. So because their bodyguards, they become upset because they were not paying them enough money. So the shogun, finally, they lost power and respect. Now, the last thing, the most important one, is the activity for today. So what you are going to do, you are going to read this chapter in detail, not chapter, the lesson. This lesson you are going to read in detail. I have just given you the main points. So after reading in great detail, you are going to answer a few questions, and you are also going to attend the assessment at the end of the chapter. So few questions I gave you, you should, like after reading the lesson, you should be able to answer these questions, like how did geography help shape Japan? Describe the Shinto religion. How did Chinese culture influence Japanese culture? How did feudalism arise in Japan? Name 3 parts of Chinese culture that Japan adopted. What was life like during the Heian period, and who were the Sumeria? So it's very easy. I think I have explained everything, and you have heard everything clearly. So it's very easy. Just take out a little time and read it, and then try to write the answers. Okay, and take care. Meantime, I will be back again. Take care.